Dude, so I feel like it's crazy because you almost invented in the era of like clickbait and hate, you invented this completely new form of journalism where you just say what happened.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's crazy.
It might be a cyclical. I think that's how it started off. I would hope. I mean, I'm not like a study or a student of like journalism or like Walter Cronkite and stuff, but I hear that he used to just say it how it was, and people always go, "Oh, those were the good old days before it was so opinionated and stuff." But yeah, I don't know. I just don't think I need to tell people what to. It's something so subjective like comedy. It's like kind of stupid to tell someone like this is good, this is bad, these are. It just is like, this is what happened. If you want to, there's so many popular comedians nowadays, so many podcasts, they're all hours long. Someone's got to wrangle all this information. I'm just trying to be a source of information instead of like gossip, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy because there was like a lot of blow up around like 2022, 2023 of like Too Fast to Try, like similar stuff, but it was so negative.
Yeah.
Having all these crazy, almost like conspiracy theory takes, where it's like I've been in the room with some of these people where make these comments, and I'm just like, that's not happened at all. Yeah. But like they're just like chasing these views, and it just made you feel super bad.
Yeah.
And as someone who creates content or like works with a ton of content creators, we're kind of becoming really obsessed with watching this. Like, oh God, like when is it going to happen to us? Like it was just this thing. So to see your content is just so incredibly refreshing because it's just like, this is what happened. And did you start out like that was the goal, or did it just kind of like naturally happen? Like were you afraid that wouldn't work? Like because you have 700,000 subscribers on YouTube, so like I'm sure you're bigger than the Too Fast to Try, but you actually have like sincere content.
Well, I really appreciate that, first of all, and thank you to everyone who has subscribed. It's insane to even think that there's 700,000 people, but I think also some of those like commentary channels were doing just like regular like Andrew Tate or like Kim Kardashian, whatever, and then comedy got so big at the same time. You can kind of just follow the views. I don't think I wanted to create a company that is just ESPN, Barstool, SportsCenter for stand-up comedy and comedy podcasts. So I'm just laser focused on this lane, and it's just like information. It's like this new special's coming out, this new show's coming out here, and then so that's like the Scott Van Pelt sitting behind the desk at ESPN. This is the score of this game. And if something super obvious happened, like like tires, it's super funny. You can give some opinion in there, but it's almost more like collecting reactions from the internet, not trying to tell people how to feel or like interpret comedy, or like trying to read between the lines too much, or even just taking like obvious jokes because they're comedians on a podcast. Like obviously you're being sarcastic or hyperbolic, whatever, and then just pretending like that's real, and then making like a reaction video about that. I think a lot of those channels are just doing like, they'll do a Trump versus Elon one, or whatever is hot in the news, Sydney Sweeney, whatever. And then comedy just got so big at that moment. And then the views kept coming in, and it's like kind of probably why would you stop for them? But for me, I'm just trying to do something different. I'm trying to make like a legitimate business that is like SportsCenter for comedy. When you think about comedy and you want to figure out what happened quickly, just like when you want to check the scores of a game, you'll just go to Joke World. That's kind of just the goal. So that was never even like something that I had to like weigh out. Like, should I be doing these like fan fiction videos of like reading so deep into like this one comment or this one side glance? Like that was never really on my radar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you monetizing right now, and how do you think about building out this infrastructure for more of an ESPN or Barstool?
Yeah. So right now that's kind of like the big, I think so right now it's me and then a guy named Chase who's out in San Francisco. He does all the thumbnails and graphics and does some video scouting. He's great. He's been at this for a long time in like the meme game. And then I just got a full-time editor who's actually moving here in like December or January. His name is also Austin, so that could be confusing. But
there's a lot of Austins in Austin.
I know.
There's like a weird amount of Austins here.
I'm not excited about that because just texting, like we talk about Austin so much. And then, so right now that's our squad, and we're just so focused on content. Our revenue stream is just from like AdSense, and we just started a Patreon that's doing all right. Like we got some, good grassroots there just from like one video, but it's nothing major at all.
Sorry to interrupt, but one of your tiers is Big Balls.
Yeah.
Did you see what happened to Big Balls yesterday?
No.
Do you know who I'm referencing? Like the Doge employee Big Balls?
Oh, no.
Are you familiar with like him at all?
No.
Okay, so essentially when the whole Elon Doge drama was happening like 3 months ago, they found out like one of the employees was this like youth. Like I don't know if he's 18. If he's 18, he's definitely like under 23. but like a youth who's working at Doge, like just a very strong developer, kind of like analytical mind. But he had a fake like Anon X account called Big Balls, and then they found out about it, and like the media just went
that's
haywire
funny.
on that.
Was the content questionable on there?
No, it was just that was just his
Big
like
Balls?
fake one, and
Yeah.
he would just like do a lot of kind of maybe like right of center / alt-right
Okay,
commentary.
yeah. That's hilarious.
But the craziest thing just happened yesterday where some woman in DC was being attacked by like multiple like 15 to 17 year olds.
Okay.
And he stepped in.
Wow.
And got his ass kicked, but she was able to escape.
That takes big balls.
So Big Balls like stepped in and got his ass kicked, and Trump was talking about him stuff. So I didn't know
That's
if
awesome.
that Patreon level was like referencing
No,
Big Balls
it's
at all.
referencing the South Park
Nice.
like thing,
Yeah, yeah,
and we
yeah.
made our alien into that same
Yeah.
meme of that thing for the cover art. But
Dude, wait, sorry. The South Park episode, like, did you watch last
the Trump
week?
one?
The Trump one?
I have not. No,
Dude,
I've been traveling.
I'm like
so much.
so worried about them.
That they're gonna get like
Murdered.
Oh, really?
I mean, I don't know. Like, it's like
They've made fun of him before, though,
this
right?
is nuts, dude.
Okay.
Because they use
I've heard that it's
full-on-
viral, but yeah.
a full-on AI model of him, so it looks exactly like him, undressing, completely naked, dick out, full AI
this-
model, full him, tiny dick.
That's hilarious.
The dick then like looks up and speaks as like a PSA commercial endorsing Trump. They haven't released an episode since then. I think they're a weekly show.
Oh, they haven't released an episode?
No, at least they hadn't like 2 days ago. It was over a week and it hadn't come out. I'm like, because I was really worried.
And they just got 1.5 billion
Yeah, dude.
from Paramount?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And they negotiated so well that I think Matt and Trey got like 300 million of it.
Wow.
Yeah, which is like a super good negotiation.
Wait, so wasn't Paramount involved in the whole Colbert drama?
So they make fun of that in the show too. They're
gotta
like,
watch this
so
episode.
basically Jesus comes out and Jesus goes, "Shut the fuck up, guys! Like, come on! Like, we gotta stop this. Didn't you see what happened to Colbert?
Oh,
like
yeah.
literally, he's trying to be like, just cut it out. Like,
Wow.
stop doing this."
Maybe they didn't release an episode on purpose because they're trying. They're
Create
like
the
trolling,
drama.
or yeah, they're
Dude.
like.
They're the best though.
That's
Like,
hilarious.
it's so sick. Like, I absolutely love that they were able
Wow,
to
I gotta
go
watch that
hard.
one.
It's
Yeah.
so crazy.
So yeah, okay. So then yeah, we got the Patreon going. Shout out to everyone who's joined the Patreon. We got about 300 people over there. It's solid right now. But now we have it's me and then the two other people, and then just really YouTube AdSense is like what we've been living off of, which is scary because especially in the world of comedy and in the world of like commentary where you rely heavily on fair use, because if you look at the rules, we're doing everything right, but an AI model could just be like, wait, there's a lot of clips and they don't realize that they're all like themed onto one thing, reaction, or the commentary in between, all the adding value, or that it's all from 1 month, all these things that when you look at the fine print, it's all good, but then I think about sometimes, like some random AI could just snipe this channel right now. We got 2 people that rely on this, so then so we're trying to build up the Patreon because of that. But then we don't really do ad reads. If one random inbound ad comes in, we'll try to do it, whatever. But like, if that were to happen one day, hopefully it doesn't, knock on wood, we'd have to just go to like ad read. It's never going away. This will kill me if it has to. But we'll do ad reads or stuff like that. But I think what really needs to happen is like hiring some sort of business manager that comes in and does like, here's like we're going to get an ad in every video. We're going to get merch going. We're going to, be setting up festivals or live events. You three, me, Chase, and Austin, you focus on just making the content. Then I'm going to make Joke World into like a business. That's probably what needs to happen. I think that's like what YMH did. And I just need to find the time to do it. But every day is so much like keeping up on the current comedy news that it's like, it's rare to find a chance to progress the other parts. But we're moving along, I guess.
Yeah. Can you explain fair use a little bit more? Because like watching your content, I'm always just like, how do you do this? Like, how do you get away with it, basically?
Yeah. So basically, what you need to do is it just has to be altered in some way that adds value. It's just the umbrella of it. So if you're just posting if you just took a 5-minute clip out of a podcast and just posted that, then that's just not adding any value. That could get you flagged. But even just as far as like adding some B-roll to it, some background music, some crops and some zooms, now you're adding some sort of like editing value, and that can still maybe not be considered that. But then if you add some context to the beginning, maybe with your own voice, that is a big part, because now you're saying like, not even just saying like this is a clip. You got to add some sort of context. Like when did it happen? What episode was it? Who else was there? Why does it matter? Why is it relevant at all? Like why would a comedy fan need to know this? If that is just adding enough value to then being like basically what the real news is or what the real ESPN is, like they're being like these are the top 10 highlights from this week, and then they're showing video from the NFL and the NBA and the NHL and all that stuff, or the real news is being like this is what happened, in Congress today, then they're showing a video of the hearing or whatever. So it's basically just adding some sort of context and value to the clips to make it more than what it originally was. Yeah.
Dude, super tangential, but both D3 athletes, bro. Midwest D3 athletes.
Hell yeah.
Let's fucking go.
Where'd you go?
I went to Wabash College. It's like an all-male school in Indiana.
I've heard of it, yeah.
Yeah. You went to somewhere in Ohio?
Yeah, Mount Union, Purple
Mount Union?
Raiders.
Nice. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think we'd play you guys in football, potentially.
Yeah, it sounds like it. We're the 2017 national champs.
Hell yeah,
we got
dude.
that done. I one catch on senior night, which is one catch for 7 yards. That's
for
my
the
career.
4 years?
For the 4 years,
Whoa,
yeah.
dude.
We're the national champs. It's quite
tough
the program.
for D3.
But, yeah, we had two guys. There was a guy that was one grade above me who had scouts at every practice. He was on a mini camp with the Lions, and then a guy in my grade who we had scouts every practice for him too at receiver. But we graduated during COVID. They had no mini camps that year. Kind of got screwed on that. But Cecil Shorts, Pierre Garcon, Mount Union has a rich NFL history at receiver, and I was just happy to be there. I was just the scout team guy that I love it, dude. I loved just being on the team and running the practice routes. But yeah, as far as actually contributing goes, not much, but got the national championship out of it. And I also played tennis at Mount Union.
I played tennis.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You kind of have more of a tennis frame than I would say a football frame.
Yeah, I played receiver.
Okay.
So I could be outside on the end. But that's funny. Yeah, that's the best part about going to a small school is I could play two sports. I just showed up and was like, could I play tennis too? They're like, all right. Yeah, sure.
What did you play in tennis?
I never really touched the court on that either.
Okay,
yeah.
Nice.
We had, I think, 11 people on the team, and the tennis guys didn't really vibe with me that much because the safeties coach was also the head tennis coach. So in spring ball, we had football practice 5 a.m. and then we had lifting at 3 p.m. So it was 2 days all throughout the second semester. And then tennis was at like 5 o'clock. So I'd show up to tennis practice, and then for tennis conditioning, the coach would usually just let me not condition because he knew everything else I did that day.
Yeah.
But these tennis nerds,
they hated you.
Yeah, they're like, oh, the football guy's here.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to do anything, blah, blah, blah. And football is the biggest sport at that school. It's why anyone knows what Mount Union is, who does all that stuff. So that was kind of like a weird part of it. But I was a pusher. I had a good serve, and then I could just run all over the court. But I didn't grow up playing tennis like I wasn't a country club tennis kind of guy. I push the hell out of the ball.
Back. Yeah.
Get everything back, and I had a decent serve.
Yeah.
First serve, second serve, I'm just getting it in, which would probably get lasered back to me every time. But
I mean, I think one thing people don't realize about tennis is like more people you lose, you don't win.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's a really good strategy for especially as you're like in college.
Well, that's how my dad used to beat me. I was like, I actually play tennis every day. You don't do anything. And so I would be trying to actually like get over the ball and do all this stuff, like trying to slice all this stuff. And he would just he would push worse than me, and he'd get in my head because it's like you suck, and I'm actually good, and you keep beating me because I keep hitting it into the net or over and stuff. And he'd be making fun of me, and I can never beat him, even though I'm so much better than him, because he just doesn't lose. But I actually got into playing tennis in high school because I didn't letter in anything my freshman year. I just wanted to get a letter. I saw the people on the tennis team at my high school. I was like, I could get a letter in this. He's just tennis, you hit it over the fence, whatever, or the net, whatever. It's so hard. I don't think people know, especially if you're playing pickleball or something.
Yeah.
It's so much harder to play tennis. Like you think it comes over, you hit the ball back. You'll be jacking it over the fence, out of bounds. It's really it's a huge skill, and it's really impressive when people are like really good at tennis. I don't think people understand how hard it is.
Yeah, and it takes it's really like isolating, and it takes so much time to get really good, and you're hitting the same thing over and over and over again.
And to not melt when you're just falling apart.
Yeah.
I
learned meditation way too late. I really could have used that in high school and college for sure.
And I know some of the best players. Like there's a kid that I went to high school with. I was like ranked 1 in the state like for a long time, and he would there was a guy that was like ranked 2 in the state, like a city over. Whenever they would play and he would lose, it's like smashing rackets, like melting down, because the kids that never lost, it's such a mental fuck that like it feels terrible to lose in an individual game. I don't golf, but I bet it's the same, like frustrating, like it sucks. And so the kids that are like not used to that too, I feel like have the biggest like temper tantrums on the tennis court.
And you put so much pressure on yourself.
Yeah.
So much fucking pressure.
And then, you just double fault like twice in a row. It's just like, how do you even come back from that? And you're playing someone that you think you should beat, too. Yeah. That's the worst, is when you're thinking you're losing to someone and you're like playing down to their competition. It's easy to match the person you're playing with.
100%, dude. Yeah. Especially in the like, juniors and younger, it's harder.
Yeah.
When you don't have like your own game, you can't hit winners. Like you have to kind of match their tempo.
Yeah.
And if they're hitting it soft, it's really hard to hit it back. Like you have a lot more time to think. Like a lot of shit goes on. What's up with Ohio being like so good at sports and shit?
Dude, it's just the best place ever. I honestly
you're
think
like pro Ohio. You're like big Ohio guy.
I mean that's where I'm from, but I love it there. Have you ever been?
Yeah. I lived in Indiana for like way too fucking long.
Okay, all right.
For like 6.5 years.
Some people have never been, and that it is a punchline around the country, I guess. But I mean, honestly, after I've lived in Cleveland, and then a small town where my school was, that was just like whatever, and then Tampa, and now here, and I think the ideal world would be some sort of like living in Ohio during the summers, and then like down south during the winters, because the Ohio summers are just 75 degrees. It sucks here. There's bugs, cockroaches everywhere. You're sweating your balls off. I mean, this is brutal. There's no like crazy. It's a scene out there. Like that does not exist in Ohio. Some of think of all the negatives about Austin. None of that exists in Ohio. It's just a nice
think
safe
about all the
place.
Positives of Austin.
Yeah.
None of that exists in Ohio too.
Also, that's funny. Yeah, that's true. I have a different perspective too because I'm from Cleveland. We're on the lake. It's like we have a beach. It's like it's not cornfields. It's not like where Chappelle's at. That's like 3 hours away from me. That's Dayton. Yeah. We have Columbus, which has the greatest college football program of all time. They have one of the biggest schools, 60,000 kids there. So that's always fun and young in Columbus. Then Cincinnati, right on the river. You got that. You got another pro team there. So there's just like lots of sports. There's lots of people. They're all spread out evenly. I think it's like the 12th biggest state in the country randomly, even though like not size-wise, it's not big at all. And it's called the Heart of America because it looks like a heart. It's in the same place as a heart. It's just a nice, normal place where you can do stuff and just live your life. I love it there. And another thing that I'll say about it is Columbus is like they say it's the perfect demo place. They test all the fast food there. They test so you can get Impossible Whoppers, which are disgusting, but you could get those early. You could get the flaming hot burritos early, and it's just it's the great representation of America. I won't have anything bad said about Ohio.
I mean, I'm always just fascinated by there's like seems to be a weird amount of talent comes out of there though.
I think it's just a normal place. Like I don't know, like you think of,
but it breeds like extraordinary people. Like I think of some of the most famous people like right now, like Machine Gun Kelly, the Pauls, like even Tony. Like Jamie, like those, like even just in that small group of people, like those are very famous people, all from Ohio. Then you have like a bunch of football players, LeBron James, like Red Band, like it's like what the
LeBron James, Red Band. No one's ever said that.
I mean,
like in the same.
Is Red Band not the LeBron James of comedy?
He's LeBron James. I don't know. That's an interesting thing. There's the most presidents and astronauts are also from Ohio.
There, yeah.
Joe Burrow from Ohio.
My dad's from Ohio.
Your dad. So that's also a big one. I think I don't know. I think
a fucking the most awesome pimp of all time that also is a comedian who's like a goat.
Cat Williams?
Cat Williams from Ohio. Yeah.
Tom Segura lived in Cincinnati for a little bit.
Cincinnati fucks, dude. I actually really enjoy Cincinnati.
Yeah.
I had the funniest story. It was like a really humid summer day. My wife and I woke up in Indianapolis just way hungover. I was supposed to meet my cousins at the zoo in like an hour and 15 minutes.
One of the best zoos.
It's a great zoo. R.I.P. Harambe. But also Fiona was there that day.
Yeah.
And for some reason I was so hungover, I throw on like jeans, a long sleeve t-shirt, and like boots. And like we just drive. I'm just dying. I start hitting like a weed pen. I'm just sweating because it's 110 and like 100% humidity. And I'm looking at Fiona and I just start like crying because I'm melting. And I just go, I'm melting. And this like 2-year-old looks at me and goes, are you okay? And I was like, oh shit, this is fucked. We're in like, I need to go take a beer next to Harambe. So
you forgot you're at the zoo.
Yeah.
That's funny that you mentioned the pen too, because Ohio, Texas does blah, blah, blah. Weed, gambling, Ohio has them.
Yeah.
Texas doesn't. When Florida doesn't. These two, the biggest rah-rah freedom states, Ohio has this stuff. Texas doesn't. Florida doesn't. I'm just saying, it's a very underrated place. And I think there are a lot of great people that come out of there. I think it's just a normal place with just hardworking. I think everyone there is hardworking, is what I would say. And then that and everyone plays sports. So I think that kind of like instills like a work ethic in you, a respect for leadership, and then you just take that into whatever your interest is, and then pretend like it's, like you're working or like you're playing sports. Take that same mindset and apply it to whatever you're interested in. Rick Glassman, he's from Cleveland as well. That's another comedian. There's just I don't know. It's a cool place. But I'm sure you could list famous people from everywhere and think of a good list.
There's some places for sure. I don't know very many people from Rhode Island that are like
that's true.
really crushing it.
Yeah, that's true.
They're probably gay. Not that it's a problem, but shout out to P-Town. I know that there's a lot of lore behind Cumtown. Mm-hmm. I don't know any of it.
I kind of missed that whole thing too, if I'm being honest. But I have my friend Jacob from back home. He was in on all it. So if I ever have a question or like, why is this a big deal? I'll text him. He'll give me the skinny so I can.
Can you give us like a high level kind of understanding of what went down?
Basically, it was Nick, Stav, and Adam, and they had like the biggest Patreon out there. And I think it was like an audio only podcast. This is what I'm saying. I've literally never listened to an episode, which maybe is. I don't think I've even stolen any Cumtown Valor either. I don't know. You know what else? Another thing you said about like keeping it positive and all that stuff. Yeah. Another podcast I just never even like knew when it came out. I just missed the whole thing was The Fighter and the Kid. So all this stuff, all these channels that like shit on, like make a living shitting on that. I never even had the data to even like, I couldn't have even made a video about that because I just missed it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Not even in like an intentional way. Which I think actually ended up helping me because early on I never could fall for the trap of like, look, this is free 100,000 views if you just say this thing.
If you just shit on Schaub, like everybody hates Schaub so much. Like,
But I literally didn't even know. Yeah, I was just like, oh yeah, that's
he moved here now.
Oh really?
Yeah, both of them are here.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I just saw Brian Callen was at Cap City. It was 18 plus because my family was here this weekend, and my brother's turning 21 in November, so we couldn't literally do anything here. Yeah. And that one was 18 plus. We were like, oh, we should go see that. And they're like, oh yeah, the dad or the gym teacher from the Goldbergs. That would be funny, whatever. So we tried to pull it up, and it was sold out in like an instant because they said added special guest Shane Gillis like at the last second, and then it all just, or maybe it was sold out beforehand. I don't want to sound like that was Brian's show wasn't sold out, but
Shane's pretty big.
Yeah. So anyway, apparently they just had this huge Patreon, and then I don't even know the high level of like why they broke up. I think it was just some contentious or just bored of just kind of like, I think eventually podcasting, especially with just audio and during the pandemic, it might just be like Groundhog's Day of just like, what are we even doing? But a lot of people are probably like, how could you turn down the money for that? I have no idea. I think they just broke off. I think Stavros got the most successful from like comedy, crowd work, like his crowd work started going off. And then now he has his separate podcast. I'm not sure if that was like, I'm going solo or something. Maybe that's how people feel. But they've all done a reunion podcast since then on Stavi's World. I'm sure the hatchet's buried. I don't know. This is not my expertise.
Yeah,
for
no
sure.
worries. Yeah, I have no idea either, and I was super curious because I've just heard it like mentioned in the ether a bunch of times.
That's how I feel. It's like a big missing
what went
piece
down?
of
Yeah. I'm curious about.
If I had to like completely guess, it is like Stavros's like huge like crowd work influx. Like he was like up there with like Matt Rife of like names that were just coming up through crowd work at the same time. Maybe that had something to do with it, but I don't know. It seems like you could do both at the same time. So I don't know. I think podcasting in general, some people are feeling like it's a little bit ran its course, or like how many times are they, like it is very repetitive. Like I think that I honestly like take a show like Flagrant or something. Just put that on Twitch and then include like the comments in there. I feel like those guys would be great for like taking a podcast to a live stream setting. I think that would be like really in a world where authenticity is the main thing people are looking for in comedy, whether it's on stage or in a podcast. All the most viral podcast clips are people being too authentic. All the funniest jokes are from being authentic. Live streaming is the most authentic version of that. And I feel like all comedians were kind of like a step ahead on the podcast game, but are already behind on the live streaming game. Like,
well, Rogan originally live streamed. Like that was like the original way it went down, and the big reason he changed is because one, YouTube, like if something was said, they had to post it, like they'd get demonetized, and then two, really hard when you get to kind of like it's like Flagrant is a good example of this, is they're almost being captured by their own success. Because if you want to have Trump on, it's going to be hard to have like live stream. I know like Aiden did have that and stuff, but if you want to have that caliber of guest, like that big A name, they need to have some sort of maybe editorial shit going on.
Maybe like a separate
channel where it's like
channel.
the boys, when the boys hang out, or
Yeah.
like comedians come on. I totally agree, though. I do think the whole podcasting industry needs to pivot more towards live streaming. We're gonna play around a lot with that, because I do think my favorite thing about live streaming, and why I've been like such a big supporter of Twitch for quite a while, is it allows you to monetize more directly. You become way less reliant on ads, because you can have all these little micro payments and like micro things like live, and people can kind of get social worth by donating to you and getting their name said and recognized more. It actually makes you kind of pay directly for the content, which means the influence is outside of.
So tell me how this works. I'm not too involved in this. So you're streaming and you're getting not a lot compared to YouTube on like actual view numbers, but you're getting donations or like.
Yeah, you basically like, there's a bunch of different ways. Like there's like Twitch, for example, have like 10 different ways to monetize, but some of it could be like, if you want to use my certain emoji and drop it, it's like 0.2 cents or 5 cents or 10 cents. Or if you want to have like a super like, and it like kind of, YouTube has that too, where it goes to the top, that's like a little bit more expensive. And like you can also host like, there's just ways within it that have money involved in the activity of it.
Okay, so as a user, is it like your credit card's hooked up to it? Okay, that makes sense. And then you just go on.
Well, actually,
like,
so I think a lot of times it can change, but a lot of times you just like have like $10 set up, and then you can kind of spend it like a wallet.
So you deposit into it like a. Okay.
I don't know. I haven't been on the user side enough to know if it's like you have to approve every transaction. I think it is like you set up a wallet and then you go.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Which like crypto's really set up well for that too.
Would you just go on, like you just go to twitch.com, it looks like YouTube and just all these thumbnails, but there are people live streaming, so you just go, oh, like this guy or this one, just click on that.
Yeah, it's like, I think it's like, it kind of looks like a birth child of Patreon and YouTube.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I've just never used it, but I think about all the time, like, it's been like what 10 solid years of podcasts. I mean longer, but like of like being very popular to the point where there's like true crime and like not even just comedy, just like podcasts.
Yeah. True crime hit in 2013, so like 12 years.
Yeah,
okay. Sorry, like Serial.
Okay, yeah. So like that's kind of like and so much like think about what's progressed like since then. It's like this can't just be staying the same for this long.
Yeah.
And I feel like the comedy podcast was great to like start selling tickets and build up more fan bases and stuff, but at a certain point that's kind of already been like captured. I feel like the comedy fans that listen to podcasts have that pool. I feel like has maybe been established. Like what else can, I don't know, it feels like the youth is all on live streaming, and it feels like I don't know, it just seems like you can't just keep doing the same thing of like, here's my friends, here's these mics, let's just keep talking. Like what is going to be the next element to like separate this? Or are people just going to keep tuning in for like the same conversation, sit down hour? This was recorded 2 days ago. I feel like eventually, who are the biggest stars in the world right now? Like Kai Cenat, like these guys that are like Speed, they're huge. And it's because they're live, and that's so authentic. That's like such a brain like meld with the person. I'm surprised no one's even tried it yet, honestly, besides like back in the day.
Yeah, it's crazy. I do think like live streaming is definitely going to be one of those options. I think because of it's really challenging because we're talking about things on multiple axes. So you have. Are you familiar with like the technological adoption curve?
Like it's gonna keep going.
No, it goes like that's Moore's law. It basically just looks like a normal bell curve.
Okay.
And it's like you have the crazy people, then you have the early adopters, then you have like the semi-early adopters, and then you have late adopters, blah blah blah. And the problem is like all of the money tends to be in this second half of the bell curve because that's where brands feel like, even right now, podcasting from a brand perspective is super fucking new. And so we have this crazy lagging metric with like where your head's at's totally true. Like if you're going to be building a business like you are, like I feel like live streaming has to be involved. Like for what you want to build, that next version, that like next kind of comedy of Barstool, like live streaming to me seems like perfect. But it's a little bit harder if like you're a Rogan and you're like, I'm making like $50 million a year just doing this shit. You know what I mean? And the live streaming I was doing before, and it hurt me. And like, I mean, Rogan's having to fight so many other battles too because of his potential. Like Coca-Cola went after him, and nobody knows about this, but when he did I mean, people know about it because like the House Judiciary Committee reported on it. But like when he did the whole Dave Smith 2021, like if you're a young healthy kid, you should not get the vaccine. Like
Yeah.
Coca-Cola was coming after his ass to get Spotify to take him down. And this thing called like the World Federation of Advertisers was basically like, and they had a sub branch called GARM, which was basically like low key, and they're being right now sued for colluding to try and remove this content.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so like they're fighting this thing. So like it's harder for them to be in the position because of where they are in the adoption cycle to start doing innovative, fun things.
Holy
but like
shit,
you or
that's
me
crazy.
can easily start live streaming.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I think that I should clarify that. I think there's probably like a top 5 pods that like don't need to adapt.
Yeah.
Because they got in and now they're established.
Yeah.
And then everyone else, like if you're trying to start a podcast like today and you're like not just doing it to like talk about interesting if you're trying to do like a comedy podcast like how these other podcasts are, I feel like live streaming would be like or if you already have like a solid audience, like these pods are in like the 50K kind of range of subs and stuff. They're already like their best clips are when they're being authentic and their fans like get all their inside jokes, all that stuff. Those live streaming, that would be great. If you're like Theo or Joe or Flagrant or MSSP, those people, you already have the you get to do the normal podcast thing. You made it. You got under like the door that's closing, and you can thrive off of just the normal podcast thing. But everyone that's trying to like become the next MSSP, I don't know if that's gonna maybe it could, but I think you'd have a better chance with the live stream.
Yeah.
For sure.
I totally agree. I think there's like, you can't do the two bros in no set, like not high end, just doing, like, you can't rely on that anymore. And sorry for that. My wife called and I was worried that like maybe something was going on with Athena because she knows we're recording, but she forgot. So no, I mean, I think that kind of blew off my attention, but we're good. Let's fucking go. No, I totally agree. Like, you can't do the Matt and Shane Secret podcast anymore. And that's where, like, right now, because I've been in podcasting since 2016, but I've only taken it seriously for myself for like 6 months. And I'm trying to think, okay, like, how do I do this in a way that feels authentic to me, monetizes the way I want it to, accomplishes my goal. And so the way I'm thinking about it is with the goal of like over 5 years getting 10,000 paying subscriptions, because like before this, so I was in 2020, 2021, I was trying to start a company that basically helped people monetize content directly.
Okay.
So through something I call like meme farming, which is where like people can like mint sections of your podcast and actually own that content. So like imagine if you could like compete against 10,000 people to like mint and own the video where Elon smoked a blunt on Joe Rogan,
right?
Like that would go for like $10 million or like $50 million if one person could own that moment. And so like it goes true all the way down to like even with 1,000 fans, because to me, the thing I'm most obsessed with is actually the monetization model of media, because that impacts sincerity in media the most.
That's true. That's
and so like then I think live streaming is such a good option for that. The other thing I'm really excited about though too, and like I'm gonna start playing around with in here, is setting up like a 3D camera in here so we can have VR podcasts, so people can actually sit in the chair next to me.
Whoa.
And then if we can combine that with live streaming, so like they could literally sit here and like maybe I hear them but you can't, and it's like they're like, oh, ask him this, and I go like, cool, turn the mic on, and like they actually like their avatar, because they probably won't have like the setup at home to be visually here, like their avatar comes in and is like, yo, like Jake, what about this and this?
Wow, that is the most like value because Chase and I are trying to think of like, if we're gonna make a Patreon for these comedy fans that have supported us this whole time, how can we actually make this valuable for them? That is like the most value defining thing I've ever heard. Like that's you're just on the podcast.
You're on the podcast.
Like, imagine if JRE had that,
and
you could just sit in there like the whole that'd be insane. People would do that. They watch Fight Companion. They would do that. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, and like you're starting to see this in sports, right? Like the biggest use case right now.
Yeah, the NBA.
People can actually sit there and watch and get the best seats in the house. Like, so I love that as a concept. I think live streaming.
Dude, you could do that at the mothership.
That'd be so sick, right? Yeah. Anywhere there's like scarcity of location, you can now start to really sell tickets to that, which is cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
And like I think that's gonna be super fascinating. It's hard because one of the reasons I think the blockchain needs to be involved in all of this is because, and Tim Dillon talked about this recently, which I always get irked when like ideas that I've been memeing out into the world for like 5 years get picked up by the ether, and I'm like, I wish that I was a credit. Not that I like am the only person who ever thought that, but it's like, I should have pursued that more, blasted out a little bit more. I usually like the ideas just fell flat, and I thought it was because they weren't good ideas, and then it like, oh shit, this is actually happening, because now like Gary Vee's talking about it. But the reason I got so deep into media and blockchain specifically was because when I was working for Aubrey Marcus at Onnit, when Rogan owned Onnit, I was like randomly getting DM videos on my account or my work email just being like, in 2018, look at this deep fake I made of Rogan, like a perfect deep fake, because he had so many hours of content. 2018.
Wow.
2018, 2019. And so like we would send that to them, and then they would like check it out and stuff. But I was like, oh, this is fucked, because the only way you'll be able to tell if somebody's actually the person saying the thing is if it's associated with their wallet, like cryptographically.
All right, explain that part.
So like, Liver King's having a crazy meltdown right now.
Yeah.
Maybe he's done, but it seems like he's still going. A lot of the content he's pushing on Instagram, it seems like he's using Reel trials. Like, are you familiar with the trials button on Reels?
Like, I think I got like an ad for that, and it's like it like disappeared, or like you can decide if it works
It
well.
posts. It can be on the Discover page. Nobody in your audience sees it that follows
right.
you.
Yeah,
and since
yeah.
I didn't follow Liver King, and it's not on your page. So I'd be on Discover. I'd see a Liver King video. I'd then try to go look it up to see like when he posted it. It wasn't there. And it's like, oh, he's using the trials feature on Reels. But also, it could have so easily just been a deepfake.
Oh, I was going to say a different account.
It's not on his account. No, it says Liver King.
Okay.
But like, it's not there. Like, it's so easy to deepfake. And like,
Yeah.
let's say Instagram has like, let's say something as serious as like the election. And, you know, COVID, they really wanted to win the election, 2020 election. Let's say Instagram has a dog in this fight, or the US government's like, let's make a video, let's post it to Rogan's account. And Rogan can deny it all day, but that'll immediately split. It'll be like
that made sense.
it's posted to his account, but he didn't post it. He'll say all day I didn't post it. Half the audience won't believe.
They'll say,
like,
no,
yes,
you're
crazy.
Yeah, you're using that feature. Oh my god.
But now if we know it's associated with the wallet that always produces it, and it's a private key and only he can have it, and it's cryptographically protected and it's not outsourced to somebody else, like that content can now be associated with this thing that verifies it. So you know it's coming from the real human, or at least the human that created all the other content.
So do you think that they establish, the media companies, these upgrades like the vanishing mode or these type of things to actually give people a chance to like, hey, you're a content creator, you know, some of these bomb, but here's try it out this way? Or do you think that they only put these things in place so they can maybe put words in people's mouths, or try these, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, now that they have this feature where there's a post that's not actually on your account and you can say this and that, whatever, do you think that Instagram put that feature in to actually help people like us spread our videos? Or do you think that they like having a feature that you could pretty much put words in someone's mouth, like a deep fake on something like that?
I really truly believe, like, in my heart of hearts, it's the first one. Like, they're trying to optimize and compete against all of their other competitors. But I think once you have those systems in place, it's kind of like Palantir or whatever, or the NSA, like tracking the US to like spy on terrorists. Once that's established, then it's very easy for 3 years, 5 years to justify through security reasons to use that backdoor that now exists.
So do you think this age verification thing
is that exactly?
It will eventually turn into like let's say this podcast studio, everyone scanned their ID into the internet by now, because you have to use the internet or else you're just going to fall behind. And if you're a student, you have to use the internet. And if you're a parent, you have to use the internet to look up. Like, everyone has to use the internet. So all our IDs eventually get scanned. We're all in the system, whatever. Do you think this is eventually going to turn into like a social credit score? Like, that you're going to scan in the face outside the podcast studio. What does Jake watch today? I don't like that video about this or that or whatever. I don't, he's not going to be allowed entry to this building because he's watched a Trump video, or he's watched a whatever you want, whatever people have opinions about. Do you think that's where this is headed? Is just to like a social credit score security state, or what? What's the worst way that this like is going to end with this age verification, scanning your ID, your credit card? It's crazy. It's so insane. I hate it.
It's like, it's hard to tell what the future will look like, but the immediate future seems a little bit more predictable. So let's take, like, right now our administration's like not super stoked on immigrants and doing a lot of crazy shit on immigrants. Apple as a company has made a very strong decision to focus on security and privacy. And even when a terrorist in San Jose, they would not track his iPhone and give it to the US government. They took a very big stand there, and that was really impressive.
But I feel like that happens though. Like, oh, his phone coordinates.
They wouldn't give him the info. At least for iPhone, this specific thing.
But they could get it other ways?
They can get it other ways. But so this is exactly the example. Like Pornhub or Facebook, I don't think is going to have any moral dilemma selling the data to the U.S. government or selling it to Palantir. So now you can be like, that guy has a Mexican ID. His location is right here. He's not a fucking citizen. And like, that could be like the easiest way just to go like very effectively round up every single immigrant and get them like out of the country.
Yeah, that makes sense. What about just like this, like, what about just like, hey, I don't know, maybe not like someone that has like some sort of social, like some sort of audience being like, hey, here's your Pornhub transcript that this is going to come out if you don't say like Palantir's actually pretty good for this or that or whatever the cause that they want to push. Like, that seems pretty easy to do.
They can buy that data and they can fully do that and be like, hey, this is like public information. So like another Teal idea is that the apocalypse isn't actually, or Armageddon, not the apocalypse, Armageddon isn't this huge destruction. It's actually the unveiling of all privacy. So like the Antichrist will bring along Armageddon because it'll be like the Eye of Sauron, because they will know everything and they will see everything.
Oh,
and that goes back to kind of like what we were talking about in the beginning with like your kids will have all the dirt on you, and like really the only path through is like
just living authentic life.
Just like, and knowing you're always being kind of watched, like, which I've always kind of understood.
But still, that sucks still, though.
It sucks,
I mean, because like you ever talk to someone that goes like, you're telling them like you really shouldn't like be on TikTok or whatever. Like, why do I care if the Chinese have my data? I'm not doing anything wrong. It's like, but you should still care. Like, you don't care that they have all your keystrokes or that they have all of your like every account associated with this. That, okay, if you don't care that they have your banking information, then give me your banking information. If you don't care, it's just so crazy that people even are like, well, hey, I'm not doing anything wrong. I don't need to keep anything private. It's like, that's insane. Even the principle of that should make you mad.
It should make you mad. And it's crazy because people don't know, because they want to decrease friction. And like, I think right now in like modern age, all you need to focus on in order to be like an effective and happy person in the long term is focusing on increasing friction within your life. Like when you see a place that it's asking you to decrease friction, that means you're being bought and sold. And so it's like, I think that's why you see a trend of like working out again. You see a trend of like ice baths. It's like all these options to like increase friction, doing hard things. Like, that's why that stuff's important, is because you're building resiliency. And my biggest argument, that it seems quite obvious, but people take it for granted, is that like, I'm obsessed with China and I have been my whole life. I convinced my parents to take me there for a month when I was 10.
Oh, nice.
Like, fucking love China, but and I love Chinese people. But
I've been in China. We can talk about that.
Hell yeah, dude. Let's go into China next. But like, the idea that a country that is actively considering us as an enemy, controlling the algorithm that controls your mind, and being like, I'm just gonna do that, is fucking crazy to me. It's like they actively dislike and are competing against us, and we know algorithms completely impact your reality and like sense making apparatus. So you're letting the person dictate it, not necessarily just to sell ads, but who actively want to change how you think.
And let's look at what happened. Everyone's more anxious, more depressed, addicted to nicotine, addicted to porn, trans, like everyone's like whatever, like not that that's like it's such a but it's like some sort of like your mind's getting fucked with somehow. And then what's their algorithm? Math and like physics, and like that's just. So once you know that, you should be like, okay, that's as obvious as it needs to be for me to not use this. Then you go, well, Instagram's still just as bad, but it's like, well, at least it's the neighbor. You know, like if you're a kid and your parents
need America to succeed. Instagram needs America to succeed.
Yeah, that's what
TikTok doesn't.
They needed it to not succeed. It's the exact opposite. So that just is like,
or TikTok does less.
Yeah. So it's just I hate that. I feel like so many of my friends, they'll just be like, yeah, but I'm not doing anything wrong. Who cares? That's like, that's not at all like what the problem with this is. Like, of course, if you're doing something wrong, that's whatever. No,
but it's so hard because you cannot tell what will be wrong in the future. And this is when you've seen in the past, specifically with the Chinese government, is they have gone back and retroactively been like, bad boy.
Yeah.
Like Jack Ma, bad boy.
That's so funny that you said the all-seeing. The eye thing made it such a visual, like, clear thing. But it's like, for some reason, we're just too, or at least I shouldn't speak for the whole world, but it seems like all these things have been told in like stories and all this stuff before, but in your head you think it's actually going to be like a humongous cyclops eye on the top of like a mountain or something, but it just actually looks like, you know, like chips and computer programs and cameras and stuff. So you don't even realize that's really happening. Or like when like on JRE they used to talk about eventually you're going to upload your memories to a computer and do this and that, whatever. Now, like, just because it's not so direct and that visual, people don't realize it. But Snapchat, it's called your memories. They remind you what you did a year ago for the last 10 years. You take videos and stuff, you talk to people, and they go, oh, yeah, I just still like it. Like, I deleted Snapchat 2 years ago. Everyone else my age still has it. They go, well, how am I going to send videos to my friends or keep engaged? Or I love the memories. I love to see what I did a year ago. And I'm like, well, that literally is like that conspiracy that they talked about on JRE years ago. you're doing that now, but it's just called Snapchat. It's not called uploading your memory to the cloud. And it's so creepy that they call it memories too, and they remind you and go, oh, I forgot about that. Like, we're already there. It's just that you have to do it manually. And now we've convinced everyone on Earth to just be self-reporting, manually filming. Like, everyone is filming themselves. They're telling on themselves. It's crazy. Not even doing anything wrong.
Like, you are the security state. Like, you are the enforcer of the security state.
And we're all contributing to it. It's like if they were like, hey, we want to make a security state where all of you work for us to film the stuff, because obviously we don't have enough cameras to just be filming everything yet. We're getting there with like security public cameras in every street. And Waymos, dude, I drive around and I just see, oh, that camera's just on all the time. Like, even if you want to just go on a walk, you can't avoid a Waymo just going right past you. Yep. Like, when's the first like murder that is solved by a Waymo going to come out and be like, well, you really shouldn't have had access to that footage, but we're happy the murder was solved. But is that always recording? Where's all that being stored? Like, this is fucked. This is so fucked.
It's super scary, dude. And there's this book, a novella written in, I think, 1914, called The Machine Stops. And it predicted, it was so funny because it was written by this gay romance writer. And then he just wrote, like, randomly side quested to this, like, sci-fi novella.
He's like, I got some shit to say.
I got some shit to say. And in my mind, he was, like, channeling something. Like, I really believe that, like, we channel ideas. Like, they have to, like, be memed through us.
Yeah.
And, like, this fucking guy, it's crazy what he predicted in 1914. The internet, Uber Eats, podcasting, YouTube, lockdowns, like.
So he's just writing about like gay sex, and then he just
exactly.
This is the future.
Yeah, and then he just like gets a download from the future. And the craziest thing that makes me feel so wild, and why this is such like a human thing and is taking advantage of our human psychology, is he predicts so accurately how humans will react to this technology.
Ugh.
He predicts like isolation. He predicts lack of trust in each other. He predicts like all of these things that happen, like a disconnection of the family and family units and family values, decrease of risk or willingness to like try things, decrease of the dangers of asking questions, like all of these things. And it was just like, holy shit, this book is wild.
That really did not make me feel good. Because that's all like I don't know. I'm 27 years old, but it feels like the world's a lot different now than when I was born. And sometimes I'm like, who am I to say something so highfalutin like that? How do I know anything about that? I'm only 27, but it feels different, and people feel different and weirder. And obviously, like the pandemic is like a turning point to turn to, but it does feel like the people that say like, oh, the great reset, the great change. It's hard to act like nothing like there wasn't some sort of mental reset. Like people are different. We're just different. People are different. It's weird. It's bad.
One thing I've been playing around with a lot is, I don't know, like how like online, by online I just mean like cognitively aware you were when during, I think it was 2008, maybe like 2010, CERN, who does the big particle accelerators, they did this particle accelerator that had like a very small chance, like microscopic chance, more of just like an unknown of like creating like a black hole or like something, and they ran it. I remember the day it happened, everybody being a little bit nervous in like my AP physics class and kind of like, oh shit.
Whoa.
Like all the conspiracy theorists like going fucking off. And I've always wondered if that did actually like disrupt the timeline. Because like it kind of feels like that's, you know, right around then Facebook came up super aggressive. Yeah. Then it's like, then you have Trump, and then like we've had all, and then COVID.
So 2008?
It was either 2008, 2010. Okay. And Obama like is right around, it was right around the Obama stuff going on. Like it's this weird shift where things really did change a little bit. Because like
so interesting.
Because like the Trump moment for the Republican Party, the Obama moment was that for the Democratic Party at some level. Like it was this grassroots. He was not chosen.
Okay.
Like, and then after that, they shored up their ability to kind of ensure who would be their candidate. Like they haven't really had, like they fucked over Bernie the first time.
Right.
They fucked over Bernie the second time.
Yeah, that's more when I
fucked over Bernie the third time.
Okay.
Like they watched what happened to Obama. They're like never again, basically. And then they kind of lost the democratic process. And then Trump was just so massive. When the Republicans tried to do that in 2020, like even David Sachs, who is now in the cabinet, he was for like all of the Republican guard was just focusing on other people, trying to get him out during 2020, like post 2020, and he just was such a massive personality pushed through.
Yeah,
but yeah, shit's wild. So I think, and then like the gunshot, like all this stuff, it's like this timeline we're just weaving through is crazy.
Yeah,
and what's crazy too, if you go like 2019 with like before COVID, is like movies were becoming so interesting.
Yeah.
And then like COVID happens, and then like movies became very much black and white again. Like things were becoming so gray. Like you
everything's
had
the same. Everything is exactly the same. You know what I think is weird? It's such a random thing, but the day that Kobe died until COVID was some of the most peaceful. I was only 3 on 9/11, but it felt like what people talk about of like everyone's on one side.
Yeah.
That was such a tragic moment. Maybe it's just the people in my life, but all the political shit, all that stuff was like pretty much turned off, and it was just like, I can't believe what an American icon that just was like just right into retirement, and then his daughter and the whole team. It was like literally felt like Michael Jackson's funeral, or like everyone watching this moment and just being like, hey, life is short. Let's just like kind of chill out a little bit and just be like nice to each other. I swear to God, it felt like good from like that day till like the day that the NBA got canceled and Rudy Gobert was touching all the microphones. And then everything went bad from there. But it seemed like some camaraderie amongst countrymen after that, weirdly enough.
Yeah. Do you think that's a good thing? Like you mentioned Walter Cronkite, and like one of the reasons I think we were so culturally cohesive at the time was because there was only like 1 or 2 channels. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I think that I have 2.
But
like,
you couldn't do that now because it would just get bought instantly, and then it would be even worse to have just one channel.
It'd be way worse.
Yeah.
And I wonder if it was also way worse then. We just don't know because we didn't have the
I think about that all the
views.
time. My family was just here, and we went to the LBJ library, and I was like, so much of this stuff just is like not true. Like, not
This
true.
guy's wild. LBJ was a wild fucking boy, dude. Yeah.
And then also, they had this Walter Cronkite reporting on the Vietnam stuff, and I was at my initial instinct was like, wow, we're a simpler time. You're getting the real news. Then I was like, wait a second, like. That's so funny to think like they only had one guy. That'd be so much easier to control, like the one narrative that you can think. Like that'd
100%.
be 10 times easier. But it was, I don't know.
And it fully was, and like, but the thing is,
But the concept of still just saying the facts is out there. Who knows if that was what it was? But yeah.
It's also hard because let's say you somehow like not somehow I'm not doubting you in any way, shape, or form. Let's just say like your future is that you get like to 10 million fucking subs, you get to like 100,000, 200,000 paying subs. You're now like a comedy kingmaker. Like you stay in your lane of comedy, but comedy even continues to explode to where like everything is just satirical. There is no like seriousness. Like it's gestures all the way down. Because we live in this like crazy nihilist state or whatever. And so now you're sitting there and you have the ability. Google's done the data and realized that like Joke World posting like these videos targeting only red states, targeting only Ohio, has the ability, which is purple sometimes or quasi purple, to turn it blue. They come to you and they're like, your ads are off, or you're posting only commentary that's like Stavros, more left-leaning like jokes.
Right. I would say, what's
What are
that
you
burger
doing, bro?
place? Not a damn chance.
Not a damn chance. Let's go.
No, that's
But now you have 5,000 employees that rely on you.
Right.
And if they do that, then you have to fire all of them.
I'm probably loaded at this point anyway, so I'll figure out a way to.
Well, you've reinvested in the business so much that like you're kind of hoping in the next 5 years you'd take your payout, but now you're caught.
Well, first of all, I already post Stavros and stuff like that too.
Exactly. No, that's how you think. It's like, oh, it's what I'm posting anyway. I just won't post Shane anymore.
Right. Yeah, that would be fucked though, because that is like now I think it would be easier. I think it'd be if I'm betraying the 5,000 people that work for me, that would really be hard. But betraying the 10 million people, that would literally be stabbing. That'd be so disrespectful to all of those 10 million people that it wouldn't even be an option. So really, the shitty part would be to figure out what to do after that. But also, it would almost be worth just being like, I have a huge media platform at this point, right? So I could I might try to talk about the deal. That's honestly what I would like to do.
That would be the approach to go for sure,
Yeah.
I think. And then you get
And
assassinated.
then I get killed, but then then I live forever.
Yeah, then you're a legend, bro. You never die. All right, we're going to go to the private feed, so skmp.supercast.com. If you want to hear Jake talk about, I don't know, he watches more fucking comedy than probably anybody else in the world. His top 3 favorite bits right now.
We got to talk about China.
Talk about China. Maybe talk about where we see 2 bears, 1 cave going. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Shit like that. Then head to the channel. And if not, thank you guys for your attention thus far.
Thank you.